I am from QED 42, working here as an backend engineer. I have overall 6 plus years of experience, and I am working from QED 42 last 2.5 years. So today we will going to talk about how to enhance the user experience of batch components in Drupal. So there is one use case that you can able to see on the screen. There is on the right side, if you able to see, there are some fields are displaying related to health data care. For example, uh, that patient ID, then name, age, and other couple of things along with that. And you can able to see, like, there was a requirement, user will select those patient data, like age, name, other things, and click on download. XLS file would be downloaded. It can have more, when you download a CSV file, it can have more than of 50,000 plus data. So we have also tried to use the Gen AI that will be used to generate the patient summary. So anyone has an idea how we will able to do this? No? Okay. So this can be implemented using a batch. So when number of data is included, so at that time we use a batch concept. So what is a batch? Batch is something that we use to process the large amount of data and also for long running tasks. For example, if you want to download the CSV file and update the data in the bulk, in that scenario, batch is the solution for it. And this is also used to minimize the main concern reason what will happen if we don't use a batch. The main reason behind that, the batch is used to uh, basically the errors to some that we are happening on the site, like page timeout error, memory related errors. So here is a demo solution with a batch API. So you can able to see a user again came to the form and select some of couple of fields and click on, then the user will click on the download button. Now you will able to see the user redirected to the new page. So basically user redirect the new page, batch API initiation got initiated, and the data started exported in the backend on the behind the scenes. Once batch API initiation completed, user again came back and you will able to see the file is also downloaded. So we are trying to open that file. The data is exported in the file, and it has almost 45,000 plus records. So you can see it is a bulk amount of data is exported. Anyone notice something related to the user experience issue here? That improvement that we can able to do? Yeah, correct. So there is, you can able to see user is redirected. For example, when you go to any site, when you download something, for example, you are going to drupal.org page and click on the download, try to download the module. What will happen? It just download the file. It is not going anywhere. So the the same seamless experience uh, client wants on the in this as well, on our Drupal site in which we implemented those solutions. So before that of improving the user experience, I would share some basic steps we use to with the batch API. So basic steps that we use, like first we create a form. In a form, what we are trying to create, we add a submit form, submit handler, submit form, and that function we like call the batch API code that is used to initiate the batch. Now then we create a helper service in which we added the batch API related helper functions that we are calling in there, so that we can easily manage the code. And also along with that, as in my use case, we are trying to use the Gen AI, so we will call that Gen AI service as well. So For the to define the calling that Gen AI, we have also tried to create a separate service of it, so that code also easily managed from here. So we will define a Gen AI service in which we define a function that will call the OpenAI API. So that we already have discussed the downside of current approach. The same, that user is redirected. When user is redirected, the focus is lost, and also it disrupts the user experience and also confuses the non-technical user. So here is a demo of with enhanced user experience with Batch API. So again, the same example is used with improved user experience. User again try to select those variables and click on download. Now here you will able to see the user is not redirected. So it's a better user experience you can see. And also progress is displaying, like number of records are like processed. So these number of records are processed. These are displayed in terms of percentage, so that user can easily able to analyze in the form of percentages. Once the batch execution, all the records are processed, then again user data is downloaded and the file is try to open. So you can see, now you can able to see that summary that is generated, that was not on the form. It was generated by OpenAI API on the basis of parameter that are in the row. So what are the I would say additional steps that we used? So what are the additional steps that we use in the customized batch user experience? So they were these are the same step. Two additional steps are added. So in first step, in the Ajax form, we added like submit form. We keep those submit form empty, but add the Ajax. Here we are using the Drupal Ajax, and also we have created one additional file, that is create controller. In the create controller, we have added the batch API batch API calls and all. So in the previous steps, you will able to analyze, like here we try to call those batch API in the form, its submit form function itself, and here we are created added those things separately in the controller file. Similarly, we have created those JS file. In the JS file, we have called the batch API, and similarly, these are the some repeating steps, but still these are used that in the first scenario case, create a helper file. In a helper file, we define those helper functions that are called in the batch API, and also we try to call the Gen AI services. In the Gen AI services, we are directly defining those functions, along with as we are trying to hit the API code. So these are like code level implementations. Previous ones, the basic steps, high level idea, like how you will try to fix those, you will say improvements. But there is the code behind is that is this. For example, the first step would be we will create a form. So you can able to see on the line number 115 to 121, we have tried to use hash Ajax behavior. In the hash Ajax behavior, we have added the callback. So basically, we have attached those Ajax submit handler, and also you will able to see on line number 123, we have also attached the JS library. In the now the Ajax callback, we are trying to call in the first step, step one. We have similarly tried to read it, what is its in definition. So basically, we are trying to get the user input from that, and after that, we are trying to pass those user inputs by a Ajax response. So basically, we are in Ajax submit handler, we get those values from the get those values from the form itself and try to pass it in the JS file by using a JS library. And we basically we are trying to hit the Ajax, so we will definitely will return the response by Ajax response. In the second step, we will go to the create JS file. So what we are trying to here is the values that try to pass from the JS library. We are trying to pass from the uh, that file, get those in the JS file, and along with that, we are trying to hit the batch API endpoints. In the batch API endpoints, we are also pass those user inputs to the batch itself. The main reason behind that. Along with that, in the step 3, in create controller, we get the user input in the controller and add those batch API scores. Or in controller code, we are trying to like initiate the batch, then we get those batch IDs and try to return the batch IDs. So you can able to see we have used the API function batch set, then we use a batch after we set or already set the batch. We try to use the batch get function. These are standard batch API functions from where we try to get the batch ID and we are trying to return the batch ID. In the fourth step, we are trying to like call the Gen AI service. So to call the Gen AI service, we have easily maintained those things by creating a services. So in Gen AI services, you can able to see on the screen like that a function is create patient summary. We are trying to call the send request function, in which we have passed those endpoints as well, that the OpenAI API uh, endpoint that we exactly try to hit, which is a chat slash completions. So in OpenAI API calls, you will see that it is in send request function. What we have tried to do, we generate a patient summary, and also we have passed those data in header files like in headers like authorization, content types, and other things. Along with that, we have passed those values that got from user in the dollar data variable in which we have passed model. So what is model here is we can use chat GPT 4 or 3.5. So I have used here 3.5 that is maintained in the model version. So this API will return those things. So after those processing of code, again user came back to the JS file control came, and after processing a thing we are trying to display the progress. So the to display the progress, definitely after completion execution of batch, we call the batch progress APIs. You can able to see on line number 36 to 39. So here we have itself initiate those batch progress APIs. So in the batch progress API, we have called the update callback function in which we display the progress of batch. So the progress of batch is on line number 8. We have used try to use that hash ID that we have used in function itself and try to embed those progress that is happening on the page. Along with that, we have tried to call the finish callback endpoint so that the whatever the code is added in the finish callback will execute. So the conclusion is that on the basis of whatever we have see on the previous steps, like batch can run on the same page. Yes, its benefit is it's give a better user experience to end users, and we can even say that batch execution is a much more reliable. And there are some other references as well. You for the inspiration code like that helps me to achieve this functionality is there is a in a core batch.js file that in where lots of API related to batch already added. So I have tried to analyze that code and try to use here. Along with that, there is batch API documentation on maintain things are documentation maintained on Drupal.org, where you can understand the complex, because if you don't know the complex the structure behind and workflow, you can't able to do anything. And git there is one GitHub demo that I have maintained on that link, where you can, if you want to use that example, try to work with these things, you can use that and update the logic whatever you want to export, and basically you can go those basic steps. And there is also blog documentation is maintained. So do you have any questions?
Is there a possibility that we can add any type of caching in this whole process?
Why you want to use caching?
Suppose there are like lot of data which is not getting updated frequently.
Mm-hmm.
But if we add a source generated, the data which is being generated, it's been saved somewhere, and when the data is again request, it doesn't run the batch.
Yeah, we can use that caching things and all. Any other questions? Thank you. Thank you for attending.